Good morning everyone. I welcome you all in science class students. I hope you are fine there, and before starting the first class of second semester, I want to congratulate you and tell you that I am really proud of you that you have done your paper excellently and honestly. I am really proud of you students. Students, let's start with the chapter. So here we are going to start chapter number 8, and name of this chapter is cell structure and function. So before starting the structure, I want to ask you, have you observed any house that is constructed nearby your home? Yes. Many of you have seen, right? So whenever any house has been constructed and you find that laborers put one brick onto another brick and it creates a wall, right? When one brick is put over on another brick, it creates a wall, and again after creating a wall a room is made, and after room is made a floor is made, and when floor is made another floor it makes, and it construct a building like in a similar manner. So if I ask you what is the smallest unit of the house, the smallest unit is brick, right? It's a brick. The smallest unit of any house that is required to build up any house, what we need a brick, right? Other things also we need, but if I ask you the and primary and the we require the most to build up the house, we need a brick. Yes, so big brick is the smallest unit. Likewise, if I talk about living being, how the body of a living being made up of? So the body of any living being is made up of cell. If I ask you what is cell, how you can answer it? Cell is a basic structural and functional unit of life. So cell has a part, one single cell has a part to perform all the function to sustain a life, right? So how it is discovered, let's discuss about it. So firstly, it is discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He took one cork you can ask, like it's a bark of a tree, it's a piece of a bark of a tree. He took a bark of a tree and observed under a microscope. At that time the microscope was not that much powerful, but still it works like. So he observed and he found that the bark of a pea, like the piece of the bark of a tree, is the structure. When he observed under the microscope, he found the structure is like a honeycomb. Means if you have seen the structure of a honeycomb, so the structure of a honeycomb have separate rooms. So like they have the separate compartments, right? In a similar way, that comb is also made like that. Yes, and he named one compartment as one cell. At that time, he took a dead cell. The bark of a tree has a dead cells. Why? Like let me tell you, some cells are dead and some are alive. Some cells are dead and some are alive. The dead cells do not perform any function, but they provide the strength to the body, right? And plants need a strength to stand upright, so that's why they have a dead cell, right? So he observed the dead cell and he found the structure of a cell is basically the structure of a bark of a tree. It's like a honeycomb, right? And honeycomb, if you find like the structure of a honeycomb, it have a different sections, it have a different compartment. So he also find like he named one compartment as a cell, and at that point they like we found out all the body are made up of, all the living body are made up of cell, right? And afterwards, when the powerful microscope had been discovered, one scientist, after like 150 years, one scientist, German scientist, has discovered, had observed living cell under the powerful microscope, and the name of that scientist is Antony van Leeuwenhoek. So he observed the living cell and he found that all the body are made up of cell, and cell performs all the function to sustain our life. Yes. And later on, after so many years, three scientists put up one theory, and the name of this theory is cell theory. And the name of that scientist who put up the cell theory, it's Theodor Schwann, Matthias Kleinen, Rudolf Virchow. So all these three German scientists put a cell theory, and the key point of this cell theory is that all living beings are made up of cell. All living beings are made up of cell, and cell is the basic unit of life. And third one is new cell arises from old cell, means the old cell generates the new cell. So basically these three are the key points of cell theory. Later on, after the cell theory, the scientist categorized the cell according to the size, according to the number, according to the shape. So first we are going to discuss about the category of a cell according to the number. So basically, either they found that either the body is made up of only one cell or the body is made up of number of cells. The body which is made up of only one cell, that organism we called as a unicellular organism. And the body which is made up of multiple cells, the cell have different structure, different shape, different sizes, so we call that organism as a multicellular. Human being, plants, animal, all are these multicellular organism, whereas amoeba, paramecium, agelliana, all these are unicellular. Their body is made up of only one single cell, and that single cell perform all the function to sustain a life, whether it's respiration, whether it's digestion, whether it's transportation and reproduction. So all these fighting transportation, circulation, reproduction and digestion, excretion, so all these all five are the main function of a living being to perform, right? So that single cell, if I talk about amoeba, which is a single cellular organism, unicellular organism, they perform all five functions, right? And multicellular organism, as I told you the example of multicellular, fungi, human being, plants, animal, so all these are multicellular organism. Their body are made up of number of cells. Next step is the scientists categorize the cell according to the shapes. So basically the shape of a cell depends upon its function. The shape of a cell depends upon its function. If I talk about nerve cell, so basically the function of a nerve cell to carry a message, to transmit a message from your skin, from one cell to your brain, right? So the function is to carry the message, right? And so the shape of the cell should be large enough so that they carry the message, right? So basically the shape of a nerve cell is large and it is lengthy and it's long or narrow, you can say. And if I talk about red blood cell, the shape of a red blood cell is like a disc-like structure because it has hemoglobin, and hemoglobin needs to absorb the oxygen. That's why it has a disc-like shape. And if I talk about white blood cell have no shape. Why it has no shape? Because they need to kill the invaders. Next, if I talk about muscular cell has cylindrical shape because they need to contract, they need to give the strength to the bone, they need to hold the bone. So that's why it has a cylindrical or spindle shape, right? Next one is size. So In our body, the smallest cell is red blood cell, right, and the largest, or you can say longest cell, is nerve cell. If I talk about the smallest cell in our surrounding, that is one bacteria, and the name of this bacteria is Mycoplasma, and it is very small and the size is 0.1 micron. And the largest cell that is found around our surrounding is the cell of a egg of an ostrich, right. The weight of that cell is 2.5 kg. And basically, why we call egg as a single cell, why we call the egg of an ostrich or a hen a single cell? Because they do not have particular parts, right? They do not have any particular part. It is unfertilized. But when their body get developed, the parts of the body get developed, it change into multicellular. Basically, any living body is made up from single cell. Later on, the single cell get divided, and the multicellular body has been formed after the division of a single cell, right. Next, the most important thing which I forget to tell you, that our body has made up of different kinds of cells. When the cell accumulated together, they form a tissue. When tissue accumulated together, it forms an organ, and when one organ is interlinked to another organ, it forms a organ system, right. And these tissue, organ, all these have one specific function to perform, and their shape and their size depends upon that function. So I hope you have understood all the concepts which we have discussed so far. That's it for today now. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.